Introduction to Chemistry. As an introduction to chemistry, we're going to go through some important terms we need to know. Our first term is matter. And matter is considered to be anything that has mass and volume. So let's define mass. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. We measure mass by using a balance, and the units for mass are grams. Volume is a measure of the amount of space an object occupies. The units could be milliliters or liters, cubic centimeters, cubic meters, depending on how we measure volume. When we do labs, there are two types of observations we're going to make. We've got qualitative observations, which are observations that do not require any kind of measurements or measuring devices. And we have quantitative observations, which are observations that do require measurements and measuring devices. So examples of qualitative observations might be saying something is red or small or warm. Examples of quantitative observations would be things like 5 grams or 2.5 milliliters, things that have numbers and units associated with them. Now, when we talk about matter, since it's considered to be anything that has mass and volume, it's a very, very broad topic. So we're going to subdivide matter into more specific categories. So matter can be divided into pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances are substances that we can write a chemical formula for. They're made out of specific things in specific ratios. Mixtures are the blending of two or more things that can have varying ratios. We can subdivide pure substances into two categories. We've got elements and compounds. Elements are considered to be the building blocks of matter. They're made up of only one type of atom. When we look at the periodic table, it's a periodic table of elements. So examples of elements would be copper, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen. Compounds are a little bit more complicated than elements. They are two or more different types of atoms that are chemically bonded together. Like H2O is the compound water, or NaCl is the compound sodium chloride or table salt. And elements and compounds are both considered to be pure substances because we can write chemical formulas for them. And they're considered to be types of matter because they have both mass and volume. Mixtures can also be subdivided depending on how the substances blend together. We have homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Homogeneous mixtures are ones in which the substances that are being mixed together uniformly distribute themselves, and we can't differentiate one substance from another in the mixture. Heterogeneous mixtures are ones in which we can actually see the individual components of the mixture, and colloids and suspensions are two examples of heterogeneous mixtures. So homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures are types of matter which contain two or more substances that are chemically combined together in variable ratios. Energy is an important part of chemistry. All objects possess energy. An object has two general forms of energy. Objects have potential energy, which is the energy of an object due to its position. And objects also have kinetic energy, which is the energy the object possesses based on its motion. Law of conservation of energy states that energy is neither created nor destroyed. Energy can be converted from one form to another. So potential energy can be converted to kinetic energy. Kinetic energy can be converted into potential energy, but the total amount of energy that an object possesses is a constant. When we talk about matter, we can classify them according to their phases. When we talk about a substance as being a solid, it has a definite volume and a definite shape. And the reason for that is the forces that are holding the particles together in that substance are really strong forces that keep those particles in a fixed position and give the substance a definite volume and a definite shape. Substances that are liquids have a definite volume, but they take the shape of the container. And the reason for this is, although the particles have forces holding them together, those forces are not as strong as the forces that we see in solids. So the particles have the ability to move past each other. And that's why things like water can be poured and can flow and take the shape of the container we put them in. Gases have no definite volume and no definite shape. And the reason for this is the particles in a gas have no forces holding them together, so they can spread out and fill whatever container we put them in.